Okay, good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. My name is Caity Metz. I am a double diamond executive with It Works Global. I am from Wantage, New Jersey, and I've been in this company for a little over 2 years now, and I am so excited about these calls. We do them every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I guess just a little bit about me before I bring on my co-host and my awesome guest. I got started in a time in my life when I was working full-time and also going full-time to school. I was approached about the wrap, and I was intrigued but very skeptical. And I had been very sick with acid reflux and some other health issues, and I just could not lose my belly fat. So I thought, $25, I'll give it a try. I'll see how it works for me. I went to a party. I got wrapped, and I really didn't see results in 45 minutes. So I was a little disappointed. I went home, and I was very, very interested in the product. I thought if this wrap works, the products must work, and I really, really wanted to try the greens. So I got results the next morning. I posted them out on Facebook. I was so excited. My stomach was completely different. It was smoother. I had less cellulite. I think I went down a pant size over the course of a few days, and I was pretty amazed. And I got started with It Works. I joined the business. I really couldn't afford the product, and man, oh man, 2 years in, I retired from my full-time job. I am a full-time It worker, and I was able to really concentrate on school. I was able to move out, so it's just been such a blessing for our lives. So that's enough about me. I would love Catherine McDonald to talk about her story and why she got started, and I just love listening to it every week. So go ahead, Catherine.
I know, Caity. I love our stories because they're super similar in how we got started and the reason we got started. I think it's funny. Neither one of us even really considered It Works because of the wrap, which, we know that is our flagship product, and it works. Obviously, that's why we're called It Works, and it's amazing. But that wasn't what grabbed my attention with it either. I was watching a good friend of mine from high school post things on Facebook. I had spent about 8 years dealing with some significant health issues, and she had started posting some information about the greens, and you had mentioned the greens also with your acid reflux and health issues, and that's what I wanted. And at the time, I was with a direct sales business, and I noticed this friend of mine was doing really well, and I'd been watching her, and I thought, man, that's just really fun that she's doing so well. I was so proud of her, and then I just said to my husband, I think I really need to contact this friend. I want to know some more about this product. So him and I sat down with her and her husband, and lo and behold, it is our Black Diamonds, Nathan and Cammie Dempsey. But I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know what they were doing, and they didn't give out that information when we sat down. They shared with me about the products, and at the end of our conversation, Joel just looked at me and said, "You need to sell these because this is exactly what you're looking for." And honestly, we signed up 24 hours later without ever even trying the greens that we were hoping to try, because we just felt so confident with the ingredients and the products that it was exactly what we were looking for, and it was going to be amazing. But then Caity, she put a wrap on me. And the same with you. I didn't see great results with my first wrap. I was kind of like, well, good thing I got those greens working for them. But a week later, after my kit came in, I put on a second wrap, and I lost 2 pant sizes in my waist with my second wrap.
Wow.
And, yeah, so, obviously I was like, okay, I guess I like the wrap too. And, yeah, we've been with It Works now for it'll be 2 years the end of September, so we're coming up on another anniversary.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
I know.
So I'm excited. We have some really awesome guests. I got to hear a little bit about their stories, and I'm really pumped to get to meet them and listen to them today. So I'm going to let you go ahead and bring on our first guest.
Cool. Well, Sara, I know that you're with us. Hello. Hi, Sara. Sara and I met goodness gracious, Sarah, when did we meet? At conference, was it?
No, we actually met in Seattle boot camp last year.
Oh, that's right. I'm like,
September.
I know it's been close to a year. I couldn't remember. Probably not. But, you know, what's really, really cool about this business is that in so many companies you hear about your upline or the people that come and join your business, but we build such fantastic relationships with sidelines. And Sarah and I aren't on the direct same team, but we're sidelines of each other, and we've just developed a really fun friendship, and we've confided in each other, you know, about just things in life and gotten to know each other. And it's probably like one of the top things I love about this business is we get to build such amazing relationships. But Sarah's story always sticks out to me because she's the type of gal who has no excuses with every reason to have an excuse. And, you know, she's a busy mom, and I'm going to let her tell her own story, but that's why I really wanted to invite you, Sarah, is I just know that you have a lot to offer to other people who are trying to figure out how to do this business just with a busy lifestyle.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when people tell me that they don't have time, I have to laugh because I don't have time either. I have a little bit more now because I'm a little more structured thanks to the business. I'm learning how to utilize my time better. But so when I first found this wrap, I had just had my twins, which are children number 5 and 6. So I have 6 kids, and my twins were 5 months old, and I was on Facebook, and I belong to, like, mom of multiple pages, obviously. And one of the moms was beefing about her mama fluff, and she couldn't get rid of it. And someone had posted a site and said, hey, check this out. So I clicked on it, and I thought, there's no way that sticker thing is going to do anything. Like, come on. Like, there's just no way. But I was curious, as we all are as women. And so I texted her, and I was like, okay, like, give me the down low. What is this? And she was obviously a twin mom, too. And she showed me before and after pictures. And I thought, well, she was bigger than I was with my twins. If it worked for her, it'll work for me. And so I was still skeptical, so I called her, and I'm like, everything in the book, I was like, okay, so this is a scam. This is really not going to work. You know, come on now. And she's like, no. What do you have to lose to try it? Yeah. And I thought, you know, as women, seriously, if it even remotely kind of sort of might promise to do anything, we're going to try it. That's how we are. And she said something about, you know, for just a little bit more, you know, you can make money with this. You can have your own business. And I'm like, are you crazy? I have 5-month-old twins who I exclusively nurse, and anyone that nurses know how hard 1 is, but 2, that's all I did. And then on top of that, I had 4 other kids who I homeschool, and I was just like, are you crazy? I had no time to do anything. I couldn't even breathe, you know. Yeah. But I thought, why not? You know, it was tax time. I had a little extra. Why not? So that's how I got started. I went to work right away, and I couldn't really go out much, so I did a lot online, obviously. And I had my first 4 little customers in 4 days. I went Ruby in 3 months. And so when I hear someone that says that they don't have time, I get it. And I hear someone that says, well, I don't know if I can lead a business. I get that too because, you know, I'm a hot mess just like the next person, but we're all a work in progress. So.
I love it. So, Sarah, how long have you actually been in now?
It's, I think, 16 months now. February was a year, so right around 16, 17 months. So
you're doing awesome. You're at the emerald level now, correct?
Almost. I'm just filling in volume, okay. And then yep, and then I'll be diamond here directly. So I'm excited about that.
Yay! Yes, that's awesome. So as you look back on the way you've built your business with your family and your busyness and all those types of things, what has probably been your strongest tool for building your business? Does that make sense?
Yeah, my strongest tool obviously is plugging in, because every call that I get on and every person that I talk to, it builds you down in your inner core, because it's the real people that you're talking to. It's not someone that was paid to endorse the product. It's not some celebrity. They're real people that some have circus full of kids like me, some homeschool like me. And the cool thing is you can really connect with them and relate to them. And people of all stories. And we hear a lot about teachers, but there's single moms, there's single dads, you name it. And it was so relatable to me when I can get on and hear all of these different stories, and it's so motivational. So honestly, the calls are my number one tool, because at the end of the day, if you can't relate with someone and you can't be motivated, you kind of feel alone. So, yeah, that's true.
Hey, Caity, ask away.
Oh my gosh, I'm sitting here taking notes. This is awesome. And I think that I love that you said that, because I think one of the things that really builds credibility within your business and also yourself is the stories. And success is an identity process. You're not gonna, if you don't relate to someone, or maybe you hear a story and you're out talking to somebody and sharing this product with them, and you hear something about, their story, but your story might not relate. There's so many, and I love these calls every week because it's just building my arsenal of stories, And so I guess just what really set it off for you? What did you see? Because I know early on you said that, you're not really a business builder, but what changed your mind? Because obviously, to get to the level that you're at now, it took some business building. So what kind of changed your mindset for that?
So I joined it the day before Valentine's Day in February of last year, and I could not get to the One Team, One Mission that I wanted to in April because I couldn't see my twins long enough. So I went to green carpet last year in June, and that changed everything. It was a little bit different than the green carpet experiences. It was a lot smaller, pretty intimate. I got to meet my personal upline, who, by the way, my upline double, I've never even met my sponsor yet. She actually lives 4 states over, which is funny. But
wow.
Yeah. And I got to meet some people above me and some of my personal leaders and just make that connection. I got to meet the CEO, and I believe Pam Souter was there too. So that was kind of cool that on a smaller level to go to the event and see and meet these people that I've been talking to on the phone and be like, oh my word. And it really, truly, honestly felt like I had known them forever, and we really were a big family. And to hear the bigger pins, if you will, on stage speak, and it set a fire in me. I was just like, oh my word. I was so excited. So oh my gosh, for that first event.
I love that. And I think too, I love that you said that your upline doesn't live by you, because I think a lot of people are like, well, I'll just look for somebody near me that does it, and then I'll hook up with them, and I'll join in with them. None of us on this call, I don't think, are on the same team. Me and Catherine are we're all one big team, but we're not on the same direct team to each other. So we don't benefit whatsoever from doing these calls together, and we all work together. So it really doesn't matter where you are. There's got to be somebody, that you can plug into. So I love it. Thank you so, so much.
Oh, you're totally welcome. Yeah, and to this day, I've never met my sponsor, and she's not actively building.
Wow.
But I actually plug into a triple that's actually 45 minutes from me. So, and they've kind of adopted me as my local, if you will, kind of bloodline, which is great. Again, cross-line is wonderful. I don't know where I'd be without my cross-line relationship.
That's awesome. I love it. Thanks, Sara. Thanks for sharing your story with us.
I'm so glad you asked. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, Jen Hein, did you join us?
I did. I was actually muted when you started because I had some crazy cake kids in the background, but here I am now.
See, and that's why you're on this call.
Hey, it's chaos. Oh.
I love it. Oh, man. Well, Jen and I, we just met. I think we met this past winter, probably.
Yeah.
Did you join the business? Did you join in November? Am I remembering that right?
Close. I joined in October, yeah.
Okay. So and what's fun is Jen and I, we both have the same sponsor, but we never met each other before. And I was good friends with Cammie in high school and played ball with her, but Jen was good friends with Cammie in college. And so we kind of got to know Cammie at different levels of her life, which I think is really cool for us both to be able to, I guess, give into her life in different ways also, just because of the different relationships that we have with her. But that's made it fun for me to get to know you, and I think probably for you to get to know me, because we mutually, have this person in common, and I love that. And I've really enjoyed watching you grow, Jen. Jen's been in, like you said, since October, but you went diamond in June, or was it May?
It was in May.
In May, and you earned the $10,000 good bonus.
I did.
Woo-hoo!
I did, yeah.
Oh, man, but you did that in the midst of a lot of just huge changes happening in your family and your life. And, again, another, mom, another woman who could say, I just don't have time to build this business right now, maybe later. But you didn't do that, and you're doing amazing, so I just want you to share your story. Tell us, everything from the beginning.
From the beginning. The beginning is that 4 years ago, Cammie, I don't remember who reached out to who, but we started a conversation about It Works products, and she was like, well, I've seen what you've been doing with your other business on Facebook. I'm looking for some new leaders. If you're thinking about buying products, you should think about just joining my team. And I was like, no, I'm not. That's not what I'm looking for. I want to try that crazy wrap thing. And I did not see results after my first wrap. It took me to the fourth wrap to see visible results. Yeah. But I fell in love with the greens, just like you did, Catherine. And that was really on and off for several years. I used the greens through my pregnancies, my last two pregnancies, because like Sara, I have a small circus myself. And through my last two pregnancies, I really felt like greens made a huge difference in my immunity. And if I would get sick when I was pregnant, you can't take anything, and I'm kind of a natural freakazoid for those who know me. So I would double up on my greens if I would get sick, and I would find that even pregnant, I would only keep a cold for about a week at the most, which is huge because, the average cold is 2 to 4 weeks, and when you're pregnant, sometimes they drag on forever, and you can't breathe, and it's miserable. So I really fell in love with greens. I started giving them to the rest of my family when they were sick, and they'd bounce back faster. And my husband switched from another, lozenge that he would take when he was starting to get sick to taking greens when he was starting to get sick. And so fast forward a few years, and about a year ago, we started really just wanting some growth in our income for the purposes of being able to be more generous with our resources and our time and our finances, to not feel like we couldn't say yes where we wanted to say yes to generosity.
Yeah.
And so we knew we needed a vehicle to do that, but like Sara, I also homeschool. I have 4 kids. At that time, I had a 3-month-old baby, so he's 16 months old now. But, I had a fairly new baby. I had a just turning 2-year-old, had a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, and I was like, well, I want to stay home. I'm not going to put him in daycare. I'm not going to go back to full-time outside the home work. What am I going to do? And I watched Cammie on and off through the years, and I had seen not only what she's doing with her own business, which is at a pace that at this point I'm not keeping the same pace as they're keeping, because that's the beautiful thing. We all set the pace for our own business, which works for our family and what God has put on our hearts.
Yeah.
But I also watched what had happened with leaders that she decided to invest in when people were ready to work. So it spoke to me on multiple levels, and I looked into it, and I mentioned it to my husband thinking he would say, oh, my gosh, skinny wraps, you're crazy. And he said, well, you love some of the products, and even though you haven't tried them all, maybe it sounds like God's trying to get your attention. You need to look into it. So I did, and I spent a couple months on the fence and praying about it and picking Cammie's brain, because I was one of those people who want to know everything about everything before I would sign up. And now I realize that was a waste of time. I should have just got to work. So I enrolled, and really just right out of the gate, I had a good warm market, which helped because we moved a lot, but also a willingness to know that the dream God had put in our hearts was bigger than my fear of going out and doing things that were outside my comfort zone. And my, I don't love blitzing. My team knows that. And I think a lot of people don't love blitzing. It's not my favorite thing. But my favorite thing isn't saying no when a friend who's a missionary would like monthly support, because you know what, I really want to say yes to that.
Absolutely.
But I also want to be debt-free. I'm not going to rack up my credit cards and have credit card debt when I've never had it before, so that I can say yes to that missionary friend. So, for me, I would rather go out and blitz and know that I'm potentially changing someone's future of their health, not just because they'll be skinny, but because they'll be healthier because of all the line of products that we have to offer. Maybe their finances are going to change because they're teetering on the brink of financial ruin because all of a sudden they know this opportunity. But also then I'm going to generate income that lets me say, yes, I totally want to support you as a missionary, or, yeah, I know that you're having a really rough time this month. Let me just buy you a bag of groceries, or whatever it is,
Yeah. I totally agree, Jen. And I think I love that because I think our hearts are very similar in that way. And, man, I had a really, really good question, and now I'm like, wow. Caity, why don't you have a question so that I can think about what my question was?
Yeah, well, I would just love for you to keep going. I mean, I know that when you promoted, it was a little crazy. So do you want to talk more about that and kind of what life looked like then?
It was totally crazy. My husband is a professional church worker, and in the early spring, he was approached by another church and he was asked, we're looking for a new pastor of discipleship, and are you willing to be interviewed for this? And it was not a change we were looking for, but you never know how the Lord works. And so he said, yes, I'm willing to be interviewed. And as it turns out, as that process played out, he was the one person they wanted to invite to consider being their pastor. And so he was issued a call and deliberated that, which, that whole process involved a lot of phone time for him being gone for an interview from our family, and we lived somewhere not anywhere near a support system of biological.
These are states apart, right? This is because you were in Wisconsin and this interviewing is happening in Michigan.
Right, and because it was not something that was set in stone, every church family and say, can you, if he wasn't, they didn't need to have their anxiety skyrocketing over, oh my gosh, is our pastor looking for another job? Because that was not the case.
Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, they invited him to be their pastor, and so our family needed to take a trip to Michigan to pray about that and deliberate if that's where God was leading us. And as it turns out, this is where God was leading us. And so we went through a 3-month period where I think total we took 4 round trips to Michigan, which is a 12-hour each-way drive. We did a vacation. We needed to sell our house. We needed to buy a house. We also were still at our old call through Easter, which is the Super Bowl week for pastors.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. And all that time, the good bonuses being extended. And I kind of laughed with Cammie when they extended it in April. I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to work for it. But we're going through this call process, and it's Easter, and I'm going to lose my mind. And so we just prayed about it together and had this plan of I'm going to do as much as I can do in the reality of my life right now, and God's going to do what he's going to do. And if he intends for us to be provided for this way financially, then it's going to happen. And that meant I needed to go to work for sure, but I also needed to sleep. I also needed to school my kids. I also needed to make 9,000 phone calls to do all of those things for a move transition. And so I just needed to be real intentional with my time and with my efforts. And, I wasn't sitting around reading summer reading novels. I wasn't watching TV, so I wasn't checking out that way. But I was still also, I place a really high value on relational capital. So I was also still putting a lot of time into the relationships that it ended up we were saying goodbye to, and spending time with friends and doing things that didn't involve the business because I would never have those opportunities on that turf again. And so that was really important to me also, to not put those things aside and look back with regret that all I did was build my business and I didn't spend that time with those people. So it was quite a balancing act, and in May, I sort of started May, and I had 2 spots to fill, maybe 3, I don't remember, and by about the 10th, they were filled, and then I hit the point where I was like, okay, I think this is actually going to happen. And was just filling in volume and had a really great support system. I mean, Sarah, Tony, Catherine, some of you guys have just been incredible for me as sideline relationships, and Sarah especially just gets it. She gets We share a very similar day-to-day life. It's really hard for us to both get outside of the house because it's an event. You know, to get as many kids as we have out of the house, it's an event, and it's going to take half your day to go to the grocery store for 2 items. And it feels exhausting, and then to juggle them all mentally while you're there and be trying to blitz. So it really takes dedication, and I would just find that she would reach out and say, how are you doing today? How can I pray for you? And that was huge and a good reminder that this business is not just about selling stuff. It's about relationships and people being better, you know, better together. Cliche, but there's a reason we say that.
Yes, and I think that I love the things that you're sharing and the things that Sara shared also, just because what you're getting down to is like the nitty-gritty of It Works. And we do have amazing products. We have obviously some of the best products in the industry, or we wouldn't be seeing the growth we're seeing in a business sense. But at the same time, the foundation of It Works is relationships through and through. And because of those relationships, that's why people are sticking around. And you hear of companies that have been around for 50 years who have 3 to 4 million distributors in their companies, but not all those people are working and not all those people are involved because the relationships aren't there. It's just a business, and they're just trying to sell products, and they're hoping to sell something from day to day. But with It Works, because of the relationships, it's just like getting to be a part of your family all the time, and those relationships are what keep you know, talking to people, and that's what draws new people in. I think more and more people. I had a girl just join my team last month, and she didn't join my team because of the products. She joined my team because my kids and I decided to do a give back, and we went around our neighborhood and dropped off hot chocolate in the middle of a very, very cold Michigan winter. That's why she joined my business. It had nothing to do with our products, and you know, and I just think that that's amazing, and I think it's just incredible how God is blessing the foundation that we are sticking to as a company. And so I'm just loving how just open you girls have been, and just that you've just really brought this conversation back to the root of what it's all about. And I hope that people who are listening to this call are hearing and understanding that when you put people first and you put God first, and you align your priorities correctly in life, then you will be blessed. When our priorities are not in line, we just are going to fight against, you know, it's like being in a storm and like trying to go out on a 5-mile run. You're going to be that much more exhausted. It's work no matter what. It's work whether we do it on a pace like you girls are talking about. With the priorities, it's even more work if we're trying to battle through it. And so I just love the direction this whole thing has gone.
Can I just read something real quick?
Absolutely.
This is something I texted to Cammie, and I think God had put it on her heart about the same time back in the spring when everything was crazy. And I said, it might sound crazy, but this is what I'm clinging to. And you guys have seen her posting it quite a bit lately. But from Matthew chapter 6. Jesus' words say, "Therefore I tell you, don't be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body or what you will put on. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they are? And which of you by being anxious can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin, yet I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today lives and tomorrow is thrown in the oven, will he not much more clothe you, or you of little faith? Therefore don't be anxious, saying, what will we eat, or what will we drink, or what will we wear? For people seek after these things, but your heavenly Father knows that you need them all. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Therefore, don't be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for today is its own trouble." And I've just clung to that through the last few months and reminding myself that God has a plan and is going to provide all that we need and all that our people need. But what we really need most is to just cling to him and let him take care of us.
Thank you, Jen. That just sums it all up so perfectly. Caity, do you have anything?
I'm sitting here going, amen.
I know. Okay, let's start the worship band now.
I'm like yelling and throwing my fists in the air. I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. I love your heart, and I think that is so true. You got to get your heart right first, and then the rest totally follows, totally, and getting your mindset on the right things. And the reason why we're all here, I love you two ladies. Great, great job. You want to go ahead and we'll talk really quickly about how to get started, Catherine?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you the same thing because I think after this conversation, anybody listening would be like, I would just be completely silly to not get involved in it. You know, and I love that that It Works has been so responsible to make it that it's only $99 for us to start this business. And $99 gets us a box of 4 body wraps. We sell those wraps for $25 a piece, and so you're making that money back right away. You know, you get that kit in, you invite, 4 girlfriends over and ask them each if they want to try it, and you get those wraps on them, you've made your $100 back. And I love also that we are obviously very team-based, and so you're going to have a lot of support when you sign up of somebody coming alongside you and helping you out. So it's not just spending $99 and hoping you can find a way to get this going. It's spending $99 and knowing that you're investing in being a part of a family that's going to really help do everything they can to help you be successful. We are, am I wrong? Are we still in a good bonus period? I'm like totally getting confused.
Yes, we are.
So that's another awesome benefit is that if you join in the month of July, you have 3 full calendar months. So you'll actually have until October 31st to build your business to the level that Jen was talking about of diamond, and you will earn a $10,000 bonus. I got to earn that bonus last summer, and I can't tell you what a blessing it was for our family. Caity, you've earned some good bonuses, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I got a good bonus last February. I got the $10,000 good bonus, and that actually has paid off a good portion of my student loan so far.
That's awesome. And just to help people get started, we also have a couple of booster kits that we can provide. One of them is a little bit smaller for people who are on that tight budget but think they know like several people who are going to want to get involved in this and try one of these crazy wraps. So for $149, you can get 8 wraps and 4 of our facials, plus the greens that we've been talking about. And then there's also the Party Booster Pack for $349. And with both of those packages, you actually are going to pocket, as far as cash from those wraps, you're going to double or triple your investment. So it's definitely worth it to invest in those if you can. But if nothing else, get started with that $99, and whoever invited you to this call is going to help you take that money and get started the best way possible. And the whole idea is to be able to do this without going into debt. We are a debt-free company. We don't want you going into debt to be a part of us. So, part of us, a part of this opportunity, but we want to help you be successful, and I'm just so excited. Like, I'm a little overwhelmed right now. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting outside. It's the sun shining. We're reading scripture. I'm like, my day is blessed.
I love it. I'm sitting outside too. I'm in my backyard. I'm sitting on my table, and I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, wow, this is so much bigger than me.
Yes, I love it.
I love it. I want to just go back around to these ladies because there's so much wisdom here, and I just want to wrap it all up on a closing thought. So, I guess we can go back around and just have, if anybody has like one last closing thought, as somebody that maybe is already started or somebody that's just taking a look at us, just one last tip or tidbit of something that you would say to that person. So whoever wants to start is fine. Go ahead.
Sara, go ahead. I want to hear from you.
Okay, sorry. I just have to laugh real quick because I'm actually en route to build relationships with my North Carolina team, so I'm driving while I'm listening to this conversation. So, you know what? I think the fact that how we all grow and build and love the Lord is so awesome and so encouraging. But I want to talk to that person that I'm not that spiritual. I'm a mess. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know Bible scripture, and, I want to be better, but my junk is too much. Can I just talk to that one person right now and tell you that you just need to get over that and know that you already have all the greatness that you need in you. God's already given it to you. So it doesn't matter if you're a hot mess right now, because the team will help you and grow with you and teach you all that you need to know. You can come just as you are for $99 and change your life. I promise you, we will help you grow in whatever facet and avenue you are looking for. So,
absolutely. Thank you, Sara.
Awesome. All right. How about you, Jen? Do you have a last closing thought, Jen?
Oh, do I have a last closing thought? Sara already touched on connecting with sidelines and being on calls, which is huge for me. So I'm going to go with that you need to really have a clear why, and not just a I want to make some money, because some money is ambiguous. And then it's easy to go, well, I made $5, You need to have a clear why that makes you want to work and willing to be outside your comfort zone, that makes you feel passionate. And everybody's why is different. So, people have told me, well, my why is not relatable. They can't relate to it. And I understand that. Everybody has a different thing. But whatever it is, if it's that you need to buy a new car because yours is going to die, or you really want your student loans paid off, or if it's like mine where you're saying, I want to have more money to be able to just say yes to people, whatever that is, if it's I want a vacation home, if it's I want to have no mortgage and be 100% debt-free because everything else is paid off, whatever it is, know what it is and know what that big why is. But then along the way, have people that help you figure out a smaller why. What is your little why for this month? Because you're not going to pay off your whole house this month, most likely. You could. Go to work.
It's happened and it works.
it has happened. But if not, then what's your why for this month? So tap into that and know, what is it? Is it that you want to help X number of people with their health goals? Or is it that you want to make sure you make your car payment or a double car payment? Put a number on it and be ready to achieve it and say, I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. And, the last thing that I just always like to share is that to me this is a no-risk investment. There's so many investments we make in our lives every single day. It's very easy for me to go out and spend $100 buying my 4 children tennis shoes. And that's an investment that lasts us about 6 months. This is the $99 that Joel and I spent 20 months ago or 22 months ago, whatever it was. We had no idea where it was going to take us. We didn't have $99. I actually sold stuff on eBay in order to afford our kit. I went through my house to figure out what things I didn't need anymore. I put them on eBay. I sold them so that we would have the extra money. Where there's a will, there's a way, and I just think that this is just an amazing opportunity, and there's very little risk involved with it. So let us know how we can help you get started.
I love it. Thank you, guys. I guess I'll just close out and say, why not? It's $40 more than if you were to just be a customer with us, which you can also do. Just get on the product, see how it feels, and why not? For me, if you would have seen me 2 years ago before I got started, I was that broken person, and I had no faith, and I really had a lot of life going on, but you know what? This family is amazing, and the amount of personal growth is worth more to me than any dollar.
Absolutely.
And having my health back is worth more than any dollar that you could possibly give me. So why not? For $99, give it a shot, see what it does for you, and you might just be surprised with what you end up with.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much. This call has been absolutely amazing, inspiring. I'm so excited for watching all of your businesses grow. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to get on this call. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, but also just get back with the person who invited you. they really care about you. They wouldn't be inviting you if they didn't really, really care about you. So thank you, guys. Have a blessed weekend. I'm so pumped up.
Thank you, ladies. Have a great day today.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.